Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. The showdown, President Trump lashing out in front of the cameras, demanding $5.6 billion for his wall. Then Democratic leaders arriving late today, the dramatic meeting in the Situation Room. And what was said afterward? When will this end? Also breaking late today, the news conference. A short time ago, the urgent manhunt for a gunman who shot and killed a 7-year-old girl who was simply riding with her mother and her young siblings in the family car. What we have just learned tonight. The American, a former Marine, under arrest in Russia, thrown into a Moscow dungeon, accused of spying. And breaking as we come on tonight, what the Russians now say he was caught with. Martha Raddatz standing by. 2 storms moving in, snow and ice from Arizona straight across the south. And the Clipper headed right into the northeast. 2 major incidents involving animals, the deadly lion attack. A young woman killed. Workers on the scene had no tranquilizer gun. The scramble to get one. And then the toddler who slipped into a rhino exhibit. The Colorado mother last seen pushing that cart with her daughter. That mom now believed dead. Her fiance charged. And tonight here, the new turn. The surveillance just in tonight, and now the boy, 14 years old, facing a murder charge after an egg-throwing prank, and authorities say a 45-year-old woman was killed. Your health this evening, the major recall tonight involving a common blood pressure drug. And 3 names we lost today: the comedian, the singer, and the man in the ring.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to start another year with all of you at home. A new year, but the same ugly showdown, and tonight it is only worsening. And keep in mind, as this government shutdown now reaches day 12, 800,000 American workers affected, so many of them waiting to go back to work. Thousands more may not get back pay. The president making it clear today that he is not budging. He wants that $5.6 billion to build his border wall, vowing to keep the government closed, quote, as long as it takes. And then incoming House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Democratic leaders arriving for their meeting with President Trump today. And tonight, when asked if she's willing to come up with some of the money for that wall, she said no, nothing for the wall. Mary Bruce with what they just said before the cameras just a short time ago.
As congressional leaders headed to the White House today, President Trump told reporters to brace for the long haul.
So how long do you think the government's going to stay partially shut down?
Could be a long time, or it could be quickly. Could be a long time. It's too important a subject to walk away from.
Day 12 of the shutdown, and the impasse is only deepening. The president digging in on his demand for $5.6 billion to build his border wall.
Look, when they say the wall's immoral, well, then you got to do something about the Vatican, because the Vatican has the biggest wall of them all. The wall is immoral. Look at all of the countries that have walls, and they work 100%.
The effects of this shutdown now literally piling up. Mountains of trash spotted on the National Mall. 800,000 government workers furloughed or working without pay. Even harder hit, at least 2,000 contract workers like janitors who may never get any of their back pay. Still, today the president publicly rejected a $2.5 billion compromise proposed to Democrats by his own vice president.
Would you accept anything less than $2.5 billion?
No, not 2.5. No, we're asking for 5.6. And, you know, somebody said 2.5. No, look, this is national security we're talking about.
Democrats made clear they aren't budging either.
They are now feeling the heat. It is not helping the president. It is not helping the Republicans to be the owners of this shutdown.
We're asking the president to open up government. We are giving him a Republican path to do that. Why would he not do it? Except, why would he not do it?
Nancy Pelosi then walking away there. Mary Bruce live on the Hill, but we did hear her say that we are offering the Republicans a pathway. But the president says he won't budge on the wall. Pelosi says no money for the wall. So what's this pathway?
Well, David, I'm told by a source familiar with what happened in that meeting that the Democrats repeatedly pressed the president to see if he would at least commit to opening the agencies that are unrelated to this immigration fight. But, David, the president's only response, quote, "I would look foolish." David.
Right. Welcome to 2019. Mary Bruce live on the Hill. Thank you. The other story we're following as we come on tonight, the news conference just moments ago in the hunt for a killer near Houston tonight. A mother and her 4 daughters driving in the family car. when a pickup truck pulled up beside them and opened fire, killing a 7-year-old girl. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
The manhunt intensifying in Texas after police say Jasmine Barnes was shot and killed in an unprovoked attack that also injured her mother.
Our top priority for me personally and for our agency is to bring justice for Jasmine.
Early Sunday morning, the 7-year-old was in a car with her mother, LaPortia Washington, and 3 siblings. Washington said that they had just passed their local Walmart when a pickup truck pulled up and opened fire.
I heard shots start firing, and they came through my window, broke my glass, hit me in my arm. They sped off in front of us. The truck slowed down and continued to fire.
One of Washington's other daughters alerted her of Jasmine's condition.
She said, "Mama, Jasmine's not moving. She's not talking."
Describing the driver as a white male in his mid-40s with a beard, he was last seen fleeing in this red pickup truck without a license plate. Police plan to have Jasmine's older sisters, who were in the car with her that day, work with a sketch artist.
So let's get to Kana Whitworth with us live tonight. And Kana, we understand that authorities are increasing patrols tonight, but do you have any idea, have we learned if the family was being targeted or whether this was random?
Yeah, David, police at this point have no motive for this attack, but the FBI has joined local investigators, and the ATF is analyzing shell casings found at the scene to see if they're connected to other shootings. David?
Kana Whitworth with us tonight. Kana, thank you. Next tonight to the American, a former U.S. Marine behind bars in an infamous Moscow dungeon. The Russians say he was a spy. Tonight, we know U.S. officials were allowed access to him. Paul Whelan's family says he was in Moscow for a wedding, that he is no spy. Tonight, the Russians and their new claim, what they say he had on him. And U.S. authorities want to know, is this Russian retaliation? ABC's Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz tonight with new reporting here.
Tonight, Paul Whelan sits in a notorious Moscow prison charged with spying. The U.S. ambassador to Russia visited him today, telling Whelan's family he was in good condition. But Secretary of State Mike Pompeo wants answers.
If the detention is not appropriate, we will demand his immediate return.
Whelan, who was kicked out of the Marine Corps 10 years ago for attempted larceny, is the head of global security for a Michigan auto parts company. He has visited Russia multiple times and has a social media presence there as well. This trip was personal, a friend's wedding. His brother says he is 100% certain his twin is not a spy.
I can't think of any plausible reason that Paul was arrested in Russia.
Whelan's arrest follows on the heels of Russian agent Maria Butina's guilty plea in the U.S. to charges of trying to infiltrate conservative political circles.
So let's get to Martha Raddatz with us live tonight from our Washington bureau. And Martha, what are your sources telling you tonight? Does the U.S. government believe this is retaliation for Maria Butina?
Well, some think it very well could be, David. The Russians will likely present some kind of evidence, fabricated or not. Already a Russian news agency is saying Whelan was caught with a classified list of Russian operatives. But if convicted, Whelan could face up to 20 years in prison, David.
All right, Martha Raddatz with us as well. Thank you, Martha. The president making news tonight with what he said about Defense Secretary Jim Mattis. Mattis, of course, resigning in protest. The president then telling him to leave immediately. The president told reporters today he gave Secretary Mattis new F-35 fighter jets and F-18s.
General Mattis was so thrilled. But what's he done for me? How has he done in Afghanistan? Not too good.
And it wasn't just Mattis he was upset with. The president then pointing to a meeting with several generals, he said, just weeks ago.
We have an area that I brought up with our generals 4 or 5 weeks ago where Taliban is here, ISIS is here, and they're fighting each other. I said, why don't you let them fight? Why are we getting in the middle of it? I said, let them fight. Sir, we want to do it. They go in and they end up fighting both of them. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I think I would have been a good general, but who knows?
The president at the White House today. We move on tonight, and there are troubling new details emerging this evening after that deadly lion attack at a conservation center in North Carolina. Tonight, the sheriff's report now reveals that the lion was roaming freely while workers frantic waited for a tranquilizer gun to be brought to them after a 22-year-old intern had been attacked. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is on the scene tonight.
Tonight, dramatic new details revealing the chaotic moments after a lion attacked an intern at this North Carolina facility.
We have had a lion attack.
The sheriff's department says this lion broke through a locked enclosure during a routine cleaning, killing 22-year-old Alex Black.
The lion is contained. The lion is contained. Okay, good.
But this new investigative report details the lion was still running around the enclosure when deputies and firefighters arrived. Staffers telling authorities they had a tranquilizer gun on the way. Then the dart appears to break. A staffer then going for a blowgun, shooting multiple darts, but the lion showed no signs of going to sleep.
In my opinion, this situation was not a tranquilizer situation. This was lethal force, needed to get access to that person as quickly as possible.
Deputies ultimately firing 8 shotgun blasts, killing the lion. Black's family now making funeral plans as her loved ones remember her.
Tonight, an attorney for the center says they'll be releasing a statement about today's report soon. This as federal agencies lead the investigation. David.
Stephanie Ramos tonight. Thank you, Stephanie. We turn next here to 2 storms on the move at this hour. One moving out of the southwest after a New Year's storm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and icy roads and accidents in Fort Worth, bringing traffic to a standstill for the commute today. And out of Canada tonight, a fast-moving Clipper system about to sweep into the northeast. We've got it all covered with Chief Meteorologist Ginger Zee. She's with us live tonight. Happy New Year, Ginger.
Happy New Year to you, David, and everyone. Let's start with the storm that brought Phoenix its coldest air since 2013. Yes, the one in the southwest now moving with winter storm warnings north and west of Dallas up to Oklahoma City. That's for overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Flash flood watches for one of our largest cities in the nation, Houston, over to Baton Rouge. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be a messy commute there. And then eventually this all moves east and the heavy rain gets into a place like Atlanta by Friday. Let me tell you quickly, though, about what's going to happen with that Clipper system that'll move through right now in Michigan and then eventually in the northeast, a dusting to up to 3 inches. David?
Ginger Zee with us tonight. Thank you, Ginger. And there are new developments in the case of that Colorado mother last seen on Thanksgiving at a supermarket with her 1-year-old daughter. Her fiancé is now charged in her death, and prosecutors alleging he plotted for months trying to hire others to kill her. Tonight, though, the new discovery about the missing woman's phone, and ABC's Clayton Sandell is in Colorado.
Tonight, the mystery of what happened to Kelsey Berreth
Where's Kelsey?
taking a new turn. Formal charges reveal that in the 3 months before she vanished, her fiancé, Patrick Frazee, allegedly tried 3 times to find someone to kill her.
I cannot comment on who it is that's being solicited.
Prosecutors are not talking about any accomplices.
Anything to say, Patrick?
But tonight, ABC News has learned that a woman is being investigated for possibly disposing of Berreth's cell phone. She is 32 years old from Twin Falls, Idaho, the same state where Berreth's phone was detected after she vanished. Frazee now charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, one for deliberately killing his fiancée, and an extra charge on the theory Frazee murdered Berreth during a robbery.
Why haven't you spoken out about Kelsey, Patrick?
Berreth went missing on Thanksgiving, last seen publicly at a supermarket with the couple's 14-month-old daughter.
You see him? He's in cuffs.
Frazee later arrested.
There potentially could be other people arrested in this case.
David, we have tried reaching out to that woman now under investigation, but have not heard back. Frazee has not entered a plea. He'll be back in court for a pretrial hearing January 29th. David?
Clayton, thank you. Next tonight to the major arrest in Los Angeles, a man accused of breaking into many celebrity homes after first going to those homes, posing as a real estate broker, allegedly then getting millions in stolen goods when he went back to those homes later. Here's ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman tonight.
The targets included the plush homes of musicians like Usher, Jason Derulo, and Adam Lambert. The haul, according to the police, was enormous.
We estimate the total worth in the millions of dollars. We have diamond necklaces. We have to see what type of diamonds they are, whose they are, and what the actual values are.
The LAPD says 32-year-old Benjamin Ackerman would pose as a realtor, roll up to open houses in a fancy car, sign in under a false name, and then burglarize them at a later time. At least a dozen victims. Police saying he amassed so much loot in a storage facility, they created a website to catalog it. Named Hollywood Burglary, there are Rolexes, Cartier watches, diamond necklaces, fine art, and a lot of fine wine.
When he showed up, he was dressed to the nines. He acted the part. He was very slick.
David, police tell us that the investigation has been complicated by the fact that Ackerman somehow disabled security cameras. Recordings went black during the crimes. He has not yet been charged. David.
Matt Gutman with us tonight as well. Thank you, Matt. To your health this evening, and there's news tonight.